Hey, long time no see, folks and fiends. It's been a long road working on Heliana's Guide and also recently Fool's Gold. Holy crap, guys, congratulations on 2 million. So, I'm so sorry it's taken heckin' forever, but a quick announcement. I'll be going to Pax Unplugged for my first Q&A panel alongside Dingo, Felix, Puffin, and Joe Cat. We'll also be at the Hit Point Press booth for some COVID-safe meet and greets. Needless to say, my social anxiety is off the charts. Anywho, let me distract my terror with yet more terror and spin the wheel of player dread, which has already been spun because we did the rolls during a live stream, which you've probably already forgotten about anyway because it's been so long and that was the plan the whole time. We're gonna go with that. First up, the Force Fusion. So people on the stream wanted the thumbnail to happen despite the fact that I just picked those two because I liked them. So, it happening now. Cynthia Shargo and Cubicula. Best babies. It will be terrible. Let's go. So alright, full stop. I seriously struggled to make this one not look doofy as hell. I mean, putting a cube on a dinosaur is just inherently silly. And the gelatinous cube is, well, what it says on the tin. And then you've got the actual final boss of Gen 4 Pokemon, a literal land shark, who dies if a Cubchoo sneezes on it. Attempting a happy union for both of these creatures, I present to you the Slimehead. Yet another ancient ruin the party mused. The rogue had an itinerary in order. Frightful stone carvings, spiked punji pits, oh, and of course a healthy supply of poison darts to decorate the paladins behind. Although something stopped the merry tomb robbers' advance. Something distinctly out of place. Oh, what the shit is that? The hooded charlatan pointed to the walls, which were pocked with massive geometric holes, each extending in every direction, becoming more and more frequent as they went on. These perfectly extruded tunnels had an eerily smooth finish within, and a few of the holes' shapes gave them pause as the wizard swore they looked vaguely human. Eventually, the rogue detected a hiss from the other end of the hall, a faint whine of what sounded like steam. The paladin directed a torch to its source. A dinosaur, not uncommon to this jungle, was pressing its head to the stone. No, rather, what was left of its head. Acid dripped from its exposed skull, as a shell of thick ooze devoured the wall. The creature did not acknowledge the party, but the rogue was quick to dispatch the abomination with a quick rapier strike to the flank. The Slimehead turned suddenly, flicking the rogue with a shower of caustic spray. With a garbled scream it fell, still and lifeless, at their feet. But the rogue scarcely moved. Acid still burning, they turned slowly to face the wall and continued the beast's work. Alright, contender for the dumbest combo rolled on stream was Surfetch and Polukranos, the World Eater. Yep, okay, we're doing this. So to describe this unhappy marriage, we've got Surfetch, the ultimate form of the Japanese idiom, a duck with a leak in its mouth, or something that is literally far-fetched. Then we've got World Eater Polukranos, which isn't really a World Eater in the D&D version, it's just like a bigger Hydra that subscribes to eat, prey upon the innocent, and love to sleep. Let's get into it. There lives a creature so foul that none dare tread upon its domain. A goose may be the living embodiment of hatred, but a manageable threat. Geese. Geese are made when an artificer doesn't consider the consequences of creation. They are merciless flesh constructs, born of spite and an unparalleled hunger for blood sport and breadcrumbs. If ever an unlucky soul locks eyes with a geese, it is seen as a challenge to combat. To the misfortune of many a cocky adventurer, these relentless beings cannot be killed. Instead, with each death, they sprout a new sword-tipped head and keep going. A combatant's only prayer for survival is to exploit the geese's only weakness, their insatiable love of bread. Bread is deadly to any bird, but for a geese, doubly so. A clever traveler will empty their pockets in the hope of not only slowing the beast down, but also poisoning their regenerative abilities. Hardtack cakes clog the mismatched organs of the constructed beast and send the healing properties into a cancerous spiral. Barely alive and light on rations, at least you're left with a lovely stuffed goose by the end of the dramatic ordeal. So alright, up next, probably one of the least favorite Pokemon just because the design is just weird and veiny. Concentr. Concentr, crossed with what my party lovingly refers to as fire chickens. Fire snake. Yeah, alright, I've had worse combinations. In one corner, a construction worker Pokemon who looks vaguely like a fleshy Muppet, and in the other, a flame elemental who just enjoys arson way too much. Together, they meld into the unholy fusion that is the Weldworm. When rest beckons, it can cloud anyone's judgment. A sleep-deprived mind can lead even the most careful souls to camp in unsavory lairs. But there was one piece of advice that tickles the back of your drifting senses. Amends were made to the rift to Mechanus, and amends they make still. A warning from a passing oracle met only a day prior to your trek up the metallic mountainside. Sleep came, saddled with an uncomfortably growing warmth. An explosive heat spread across your chest and shot your eyes open with a tearful pain. They found purchase on the radiating source, glowing hot serpents coated in molten iron, coiled about your frame. The fetid sweet smell of flesh cooking empties from your armor. You struggle and scream as the worms knit together, their trails sealing armor to earth in a tight chrome cocoon. The mountain grows taller with each passing day, but only the worms seem to know why. Oh jeez! So, next two fusions were very similar, but ultimately ended up as very different monsters. The first being a combination of Pidgeotto and the Deathlock White. Now, Pidgeotto is your classic middle-of-the-road bird. Cool hair, but not much else going on other than, well, bird. Then we've got the Deathlock Whites, the hollow shells of warlocks that consume the souls for their scorned patron masters. You know that part of the magic contract in Reed that involved your adventure turning into a Skelly Boy? With their mismatched powers combined, I give you, this. Healing potions are the unpleasant thorn in the side of any would-be obstacle to an adventuring party. It's even more embarrassing when the damnable potion goes straight through the ribcage. But fear not, dungeon denizens, there are some pleasantries afforded to those undead with drinking problems. Capri souls are kindly creatures, willing to share their delectable souls with their masters. Their tiny flying bodies feature a long proboscis, able to pierce the very essence of a creature and extract their pitiful life force. Full of nourishing spirits, the Capri Soul zips away from the dangerous foe to replenish their more formidable friends. Keep in mind, while these lovely fiends are quick to help, they are unpleasantly fragile and highly combustible. One pop and you'll end up spilling soul juice all over the dungeon floor, and those stains never come out. So keep them alive, and they'll gladly stab you in the back. The good kind of stabbing, that is. Coming upon our last creature combo is the eerily similar bird and undead fusion, Staraptor and Vampire. Both of these creatures are pretty self-explanatory, Staraptor being the evolved form of Starly, the starling Pokemon, and Vampires being, well, the blood-sucking immortal undead and not-so-subtle symbols of the aristocracy. So, here goes nothing. Another town rolled by, this one scarcely better than the last. The fields of wheat and corn were picked bare, mere twigs stuck in the dry dirt. Cattle collapsed upon the barren earth. Too weak to stand, they dotted the expanse as dark furred heaps. The once joyful band felt they'd soon join them if sustenance was not found soon. But the only sort of abundance to be found were in the swarms that darkened the skies. Starlings, hundreds, perhaps thousands of them, coated the trees and rooftops in a blanket of writhing wings. Their maddening cries filled the air in a suffocating symphony that ran far into the night. Insomnia gripped the troop, and terror soon took their deprived senses. The flock's dark shapes twisted into awful, monstrous forms that devoured what little they had left. They held to their final thread, exhaustion weighing their weary bodies in a fatal embrace. The band looked to the blackened sky and finally saw it, a figure of entropy, a celestial of decay. It hung in the air, birds giving it form as it simply watched them from a hollow red husk where its face should be. The starlings grew bolder now. Decorating the troop's limbs, they waited, for soon the flock of famine would have its feast. Alrighty, another Pokemon Fusion's in the bag. Note, the stats will be a little bit late because I'll be flying to PAX and I didn't get a chance to finalize them. But I look forward to seeing you guys there despite being terrified by social events of any kind. Even streaming, it's a process. I'm trying to get better at it. I'll get back to that too as well. Also, a big thank you to the Patreon supporting me through it all. You guys have been utterly great. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon in Philly, and take care, everyone. Bye.